Good afternoon and welcome to the April 5th, 2021 Board of Public Works and Safety. Let's all stand for the Pledge of Allegiance led by Becky Gibson.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Is Tim out there? I can't see. Take that to know where I can have a seat. If you wouldn't make sure that your cell phone ringers are in the office.
Is there somebody out there that good? Randy's pointing at somebody.
I don't think so. Okay. He would come in. Make sure your cell phone ringers are in the off position, and we'll begin with roll call.
Brian Dodd,
Present.
Becky Gibson,
Present.
David Nutty,
Present.
Jim Barrett.
Here.
Okay, everyone has the minutes for the March 15th, 2021 regular meeting. Are there any additions or corrections to that?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Thank you. Move on down to some new business. Stephanie Ruff is requesting permission for the farmer's market. Is she out there? You look, Brad. Nope. Okay, we will move on down to item B. Rosemary's going to speak about conducting a boot drive for the Eagle Riders.
The Eagle Riders are requesting permission to conduct a boot drive on June 12th. They would like to have 6th and Grand and 24th and Grand from 10 to 2. They do a scholarship for the Darrell Moorhead Jr. every year, and they haven't been able to do the fundraising they normally do, so they would like to have a boot drive.
Make a motion to approve request.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Motion carried.
Thank you.
And Carolyn and Jessica, you want to come up?
First of all, thank you for allowing us to speak here today. A handout for everybody. If you want me to leave it here.
You're fine.
That's fine.
Okay. So we have, as the Fayette County Drug Coalition and Discover Connersville, partnered up for an exciting adventure for an Earth Day community cleanup. We're here today basically to get your permission to clean up our community and to spread awareness of the event and let you all know what's going on and answer any questions that you have. We plan on having a hub for the event at the Fayette County Harm Reduction Building, which is hopefully going to finish renovations and be open and functioning by then. The event will be 10 to 6 on Thursday, April 22nd. And we're just inviting businesses, individuals, donate 15 minutes of your time, an hour of your time, all day, and just help clean up the community.
And we as Discover Connersville have done this in the past, not necessarily on Earth Day, so this was a wonderful opportunity to partner together and restore our Earth, as the theme of the national theme of Earth Day is Restore Our Earth. But normally we've had a cleanup day in downtown. Well, thanks to the city, downtown's looking pretty good. I'm not sure there's a whole lot downtown that needs cleaned up. And I've talked with Kathy Pfeiffer, and she said the only thing she could think of was maybe the side streets. Because in the past, we've even partnered with the fire department and others to hose down and clean the sidewalks. And so we'll kind of look at those and see if that warrants that. But I don't know, with all the construction going on, whether that'd be worth it or not at this point in time. But we're thinking about that and other things that she has a suggestion, but then we'll branch out and our board members and volunteers will help in other parts of the city, which the Drug Coalition had identified some pretty hot spots, I guess you would say.
Yeah, we've 3 Mile Bridge is one example of just, it's a mess. As you all know, community work crews have ceased throughout COVID, and the areas that they would normally typically hit throughout the county just haven't been touched for a while. So Industrial Park, there was a field by Walmart, and there is a gentleman, I'm sure you all are aware, that's taken some of that on himself, and we're going to support his efforts as well and hopefully team up with him and
Yeah,
And
and of course,
continue.
we're gonna
Yes.
really scour Second Street Park too.
Yes.
But the Drug Coalition and Meridian have provided, what, gloves and bags?
Gloves, trash bags, hand sanitizer. We will have at the harm reduction building, we'll have a trailer available for people to dispose of their trash bags, and we'll take that and get rid of those appropriately for them. Just anything we can do to help out, so.
You might want to coordinate with Brad, 'cause I know he said the street department's gonna be out all day cleaning stuff up as too, right? So
Perfect.
coordinate with them so we're not
Yeah,
double doing
Yeah,
anything, so.
definitely, most definitely.
You might want to give the actual location and address of your hub so people know where to go to get the trash bags.
Yeah,
And
and actually, it's on this flyer that we're
Well,
gonna
for
pass out.
The public who might be listening.
635 North Central is the hub location. So, and if there's any questions, people can call me at Meridian, and that phone number is 827-1164. So,
Make sure, Justin, make sure you get that before we leave, and we'll put that on the
Okay.
city webpage and everything, so people can go on the Facebook page and see
and
that.
you one of these on the way out, if that works.
Thank you, sir.
Perfect.
great. And we're just hoping a ton of people volunteer, and if they have suggestions, a good friend of mine suggested her neighborhood up on Fayette Street, and things were really looking bad, and so we'll give her and a couple
Yes.
people trash bags and so on and so forth. But other people may have suggestions, and they can come down and get the free trash bags and gloves and the whole 9 yards and help out.
Thank you.
so need a motion to approve.
Yep. Any other
I'll
questions?
make a motion to approve.
We have a motion, and I hear a second. Have a second. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, ladies. Okay. Item D, approval of amendment to the second NDOT sidewalk contract. Brian, y'all come up with it.
So this is the same thing we did last week. The approval last week that you gave us for the 3rd to 5th Street area, and this one is for the 5th to 9th Street area. It's just getting all the paperwork squared up of how those were combined as one project.
I had asked earlier today, where it says bike pedestrian facilities, that's just a general term, right? It's not necessarily that bike facility is being made, right?
I think bicycles, whether they're allowed on the sidewalk or not, are part of probably the ordinance.
That's the way NDOT sent it to us, so I think it's their terminology.
I'd make a motion to approve.
You have a motion and a second. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Thank you very much. And item E, approval of the Edward Byrne Memorial Justice Assistance Grant Agreement. Randy?
Hello.
Oh, good afternoon. All right, so I'm here just for approval for, we've heard or read about it. It's for our Edward Byrne Memorial Justice Grant in the sum of $78,589. It's a no-match grant, and the funds will be utilized for body cameras, the system, recording system, the camera itself, and we've got several companies that we're looking at right now, trying to compare pricing and for the storage, how big a storage it is. It's going to take quite a bit, and whether we want to house it here or off-site, so that's yet to be determined. So I'm just here for the approval of $78,500
For the grant.
for the grant.
Motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Thank you. Motion
Thank
carried.
you.
On to item F, resolution 2021-02, airport transfer. Rosemary?
It's transferring $200 with an airport budget from gas to office supplies.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Thank you. writing slower than speaking. Can't keep up. Okay. Brad, you wanna come up with the streets and utilities? Department matters. You're on.
Oh, I thought you skipped over a couple of things there.
Nope.
I'm gonna go out of order a little bit. This gentleman's here about the curb cut at 1911 Grand. I sent you pictures of his permit application and pictures. You may not remember having seen one of these in the past. This is the first one that's come up during my time, and I felt like this was a Board of Works decisions and not just one person. It used to be the city engineer would decide these, and then it just kind of got pushed onto the street department. But in the occasion that you're making changes, it sort of falls along with traffic ordinances and that kind of thing, so I would feel more comfortable if you guys would look at them when we have one come up. Now, it doesn't happen very often, but, so, you want to come up and explain what it is you want to do?
My name's Mark Fowl. I live in 1911 Grand Avenue. What I want to do is put a driveway in the front of my house, and that because frankly I'm replacing mirrors, and I've had my car sideswiped, a bunch of stuff. You know, everybody there looks a lot nicer if I have a driveway there where I'm not pulling in a yard to try to get off the road. And I mean, I just think it'll make it look a lot better. Plus it'll help me from not having to replace mirrors and everything. I mean, I work for a sheriff's department in Union County, and a lot of times I'll bring a cruiser home when I do transports. Man, I hate to park it alongside the road because I definitely don't want that hit. And
I live on Grand too, so I know what you're saying.
you know, and again, you know, I like to even replace the sidewalk there too. I mean, I take pride in my house. Me and this lady was talking. I take pride where I live at. I like it looking nice. And plus, there's a lot, that's a busy stretch there. There's a lot of things that goes on at the school. I think it just also would help look nice for people coming into the city. And
You mentioned replacing the sidewalk. It's my understanding that current standards are, if you drive over that, it has to be 6
inches, yes, sir. That's what Mr. Carlson was telling me. And that's what I told him, I'll go 6 inches. I'll do the whole driveway 6 inches. I mean, I'm here to work. Whatever we need to do, I'll do.
Where's the driveway run? I mean, where's it gonna be?
Can I show you? I got the pictures here. I got marks on them.
or you can show it.
It looks like
What
there's
works?
enough room there to do a driveway between the two houses.
Yeah, can I walk up there?
Yeah.
I'm gonna actually come right here to the edge of my porch, and run right here to this corner, and then I'm just gonna come over to about right here to the fence.
Oh, so it's not actually a driveway to like a garage or something.
No,
It's just
no.
a parking. So you can park in your front yard.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Oh.
sir.
Do you have parking in the rear?
And there's so many dope houses behind me. I can't take a chance of parking back there and having stuff stolen.
You don't have no provisions back there now to park?
No garage to put it in.
Well, I got a garage, but I mean, I don't feel I should have to keep raising my garage door up 15 times when I could park out front. I'm just trying to make it better to where, I ain't got stuff worried about things being stolen.
You going over top of your utility lines, gas lines, sewer lines,
They come out measured. There's a gas line that runs back.
straight down to where you put the
Straight
driveway?
down where I'm gonna go. Well, it's more to the side, almost to the side of the house. I dug down. I took a shovel because last year they told me to dig down, and I dug down about 3 foot, and I couldn't find nothing.
You doing locate yet?
That's when they relocate, when I had them come out and mark it. Because I was going to do it last year, then COVID and everything, I got away from it. But when they marked it, I went out to do it. I dug down with a shovel just to see how far down it would be before I found a line.
Is that where your supply is on your gas? On
Yes.
this side of the house, on the north side of the house?
Yes,
You'd be going over top of the gas line, are you putting 6 inches concrete in?
yes.
So you're
I'll
parking,
have a rock base, a good rock base down and then 6 inches of concrete on top of it.
Because I think all the permit even would have to go through Bill McDaniel with APC, right? You have to get your permit for if you're putting concrete in.
Yeah, that's what Ms. Carr said, that I'd have to get a permit for it, and that's why I'm here to ask for your approval of it.
now, is that your truck that's up on the grass there?
Yes, you can see that's where I'm parking at, and I don't like parking up there because honestly, I take pride in when I mow and stuff, and I've got that wore out because I'm afraid somebody will hit it.
So you only have one vehicle?
No, I've got 2 vehicles.
Because what I'm thinking is the approach, as wide as approach, you may lose 2 parking spots there, so what about your other car? You gonna
I
put it-
park my other car in my garage. That one don't, it's just when I bring, like, that there sits out front all the time. I like to get it off the road,
Mhm.
and then like I say, when I do transports, I bring a cruiser home. I don't like parking a cruiser in front of the house because if somebody come by and hit it. And then all my everybody right there, they all have driveways where they can park.
I understand your concern. A concern of mine would be those thereafter. We won't be able to say no to anyone else either if they want off-street and park in their front yard.
Yeah, but it is off their property line, as long as the neighbors, as long as it doesn't encroach
Yeah,
on
and
the
I never,
neighbor's property
I don't,
line.
yeah, I don't know, do you know how far you have to stay off of the property line? I don't know
I
how
would
long.
think 5 foot, can build within 5 foot of the property line.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know, things used to be that way, but I see them getting further and further away from.
I mean,
those
my other
variance
neighbors,
Yeah,
neighbors drives right on my property line.
One of my concerns is, I'm not seeing a whole lot of room there to park up for one vehicle. Then the next thing you know, you've got 2 vehicles in there and then the sidewalk's blocked.
It's actually from the sidewalk back to the house is like 30 foot.
Okay.
So there is enough room there, you can park 2 vehicles without it blocking the sidewalk.
you do know it increased your property taxes a little bit too, don't you?
Yes,
Because it'd be some of the water runoff on your pavement forms.
yes, sir.
Is there any meters in front of that?
No, there's no meters right there. The meter to my place is on the south side of the house, and then there's a meter for the north side of the house, but it's over on their property.
And you have about a foot grade right there from the sidewalk to the top of the grass? Is that about a foot? How it
Yeah.
goes up like that?
Yeah, it'll go up.
Do you plan to do the work yourself?
American Owned is gonna come in and dig everything out, his crew is. And then, my nephew works for J.R. Kelly Construction out of Lafayette, Indiana, and he's going to bring his crew down and do all the concrete work. That way it's done professionally.
Brad, what are your thoughts on it?
Don't really have any, one way or the other. I mean, in his defense, every house down through there's got the same kind of driveway. But like Dave said, it's about what you allow now and in the future. It's like I told him, some of those probably shouldn't have been there. But some of the other ones just pull across the sidewalk, because their driveway was put in and no sidewalk was poured. So at least if you let him do this, he's gonna make sure it's got proper approach and proper sidewalk there, so.
You're talking about houses south of that, those big houses where there's almost no yard.
I think maybe the house on both sides of him has a driveway,
Well,
just pulling
I was
across the
thinking one,
sidewalk.
I was thinking one had a garage, the driveway actually went to the garage.
Maybe.
And the next one, that one used to be a doctor's office, and it goes all the way through to the alley
Yep.
with some parking places. Might even be an apartment out in the back.
There's a house in the front and there's a house
Oh,
behind
okay.
it.
My opinion is as long as he gets the permits through the county like he should, it's his property, he's paying for the work. I would think that you'd really need to look at that gas line though, because if they do anything with the stormwater separation or the gas line like they did in Olive Grand, North and Grand, then that's, you're gonna have to bust all that up. That's gonna be your responsibility to do that, I would think, you know, since you put it in. But other than that, I'd make a motion to approve his request.
We have a motion. Do we have a second or any more questions?
Second.
We have a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign.
No,
No,
Let's do a roll call.
Brian Daub,
Yes?
Becky Gibson,
Yes.
David Nutty,
no.
Jim Barrett.
no.
2-2.
Yep.
You wanna table it till the next meeting and talk
No,
about
it's
it?
up to the mayor, as far as I know.
I would like to table it for the next meeting, if you don't mind, so I can do a little more research.
Is there a time and date that maybe we could,
I'm gonna go look at it,
Yeah,
meet with
sure.
everybody and look at it, if you don't mind. I think that'd be the best thing to do. That way I can make an educated decision. I'm gonna talk with Bill McDaniel at the same time, make sure I'm following all the codes. I don't wanna do anything wrong, so. Let me get with Bill tomorrow, and I'll get with Bill and then schedule a point. If you guys wanna come meet us out there, look at it, you can. I can't do everybody at the
So
same time.
next meeting, you say?
Yeah, next meeting.
When is the next meeting?
2 weeks exactly, so,
2 weeks?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I understand what he's saying too about the mirrors, because if I park my truck in front of Grand, I always have to fold my mirrors in. I've went out there so many times and it's been bent back or whatever. I mean, to replace mirrors at $80 a pop, 4 or 5 times.
Yeah, I've replaced honestly probably 8 mirrors
Yeah.
on my vehicles.
Yeah.
And I had a Grand Marquis and they hit, sideswiped it and never even stopped. And I mean, I've had 2 people, out of all the mirrors I put on, 2 people stopped. One of them was an old chief of police, Dave Counselor. He actually made a report on it and left a note for me. And then some elderly gentleman stopped and come up and knocked on my door. It was the only 2 that's ever stopped and told me they'd done anything.
Yep, I just wanna meet with Bill and get all the information's on that after. So,
Okay.
make sure that whatever we do right, so.
Okay,
it'll be April 19th.
April 19th, okay.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, I got several things. One, you've got a copy of a quote. I talked to you last year about starting to replace meters, and we did 500, and those are, I believe, all in or within just a dozen or 2 of being all in. And that quote last year was for 125. We got transmitters for all the ones last year. This year, we don't really need to do that. So, for the 500 meters. And I'll just tell you that I've been kicking around and looking into it about possibly replacing them all. These meters we've got are somewhat failing, not that great, but with all the things we have going on, we can't take on a project to replace all those right now, so maybe sometime over the next year, I might come to you with a proposal that we might do the next 5,000 and get it over. get it over with and replace those, so.
So you're just requesting for the 500 now?
Yeah, just for 500 to get, we'll get those done sometime in the spring.
But industry standard is to start checking them at 10 years anyway, because meters always slow down, they don't speed up or anything. But so
The only-
as they slow down, you collect less.
I could talk about this for an hour, but the meters we ended up buying were not great. But they were better than the ones we had been getting. But they're not as good as these meters today. And they have, you remember the pins that break and then they just stop turning? As they get older, more and more of that's happening. So, I'm sure that we're losing, we're not counting all the usage on a lot of these. So, it's at least worth talking about. I'll probably be bringing it up to you again sometime.
I'd like to make a motion to approve Brad's request.
Second?
You have a motion and a second for the 500 meters. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Thank you, sir.
I wanted to talk to you about the Park Road Light project. Did I send you the quote?
Yes.
You have the quote that I got. So I've been talking to a few people, and this is one quote I've gotten, and there's another guy that may
That's,
turn one in.
is that the, we got the
Oh, that's
meter
the meter
quote.
quote.
We did not get the light quote.
No light bulb.
I got the wrong one.
Okay. So over time, I've been talking to you about doing something about the Park Road lights. I told you that we have a person who's going to donate as a contribution to help do this project. So I don't want to tell you how much, but I got a good price. There's another guy that may end up giving me a quote at some point, but I haven't got it yet. But I mainly wanted to talk to you about the premise of how this whole thing would work. So what we've been talking about doing, and I've kind of worked through this with the mayor some, is that there's about 60-something lights now that are very close together. What we were going to try to do is take out about half of those and refurb the other half, refurb 30 lights. And I can get that done for, the grant amount is $10,000, and I can get it done for a good bit shy of that. But I wanted to make sure that we're all on the same page about getting rid of half of those lights. We'll keep them and use them for replacements as they get damaged and that kind of thing. But so what we would do is that they'll come in and put a new fixture in the post that's there now, be an LED light.
LED.
And Doug Ludwig is the one that will likely be doing it, and he says that he thinks he can repair the electric lines, get them going pretty good again, and this will kick the can down the road with those lights for quite a few years, I think. Have them working again. So if the other guy gives me a quote that's way better than this one or something, then we'll go with that. But I mainly wanted to tell you, this will all be paid for not by city funds. But I want to make sure everybody's on board with what we're doing.
Oh, yeah. But they look nice when they're all lit.
Need a motion to go ahead with that?
There's nothing to, not until we,
You really need to have a second price to make any second done, but it's also not the city money, so,
It's like a donate, or
well,
it's a grant.
It's still gonna be a contract though, so we'll have to do that,
But yeah, so you
we're like-
need, I think we need the second one, and then we'll
Yeah.
make a motion.
we can't give you the
I mean,
numbers, because we don't wanna announce them, because you don't have a second
I
quote
may
yet.
not get a second quote. I've
You're
asked
gonna do this no
several
matter
people,
what.
and it may never show up. But the guy's supposed to be, he said he was working on it, but that's been going on for a little bit, so. It took me, nobody is excited about messing with it, but it took me about 6 months, I think, in talking to get this one quote, so. It may be that I only have the one, but if you want me to wait a little bit and try to report back to you, that's fine.
I'll get
I'd
that
be
done.
okay personally. But it needs done. He's got plans to do it. He's got a grant or monies to do this. He's not asking for any money from us. And he's got, like I said, he's got a plan. He's got plan A and plan B. Plan A is if he gets 2 quotes. Plan B is go with whoever got it now. I'd be
Plan
okay
A.
giving him permission.
Yeah, I agree, because Plan A is not gonna cost anybody anything. It's all coming from a grant, and Plan B is a lot more, a bunch more.
We looked into, Brian helped me research, we looked into solar and all kinds of different stuff up there. We were talking hundreds of thousands probably.
Yeah, you're a couple $100,000 to replace the lights. And for him to be able to put LED bulbs up there with aluminums they has, do the rewiring at the bottom. A lot of the poles are shot, you know, I mean, they get rusted around the bottom with the concrete, it wasn't sloped right. You know, there's some things that just wasn't done, maybe it would have been done now, so.
So if a motion is appropriate, I'd be ready to do that, tell him, go ahead and proceed.
Got a motion?
So moved.
That's all right.
We have a motion and a second, go ahead and proceed. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign? Okay.
In my car, I have the contracts for basically the contracts to sign for the water main project. It's like these other ones that we have signed recently, where it's the spec book, where all the insurance and all the contracts and everything comes together. I've got to bring them in, they're in a box, I just got them yesterday, they got here, so. I want to ask permission that you sign the contracts for this project that will be with the same amounts and everything that you've already heard and approved.
Which water main project is this? This is the
water
7th
main
Street
replacement project, Ochre Grant.
not the one that they're working on now, right?
This one is just getting ready to get started constructing, and it's to replace water mains on Evie Drive, Indiana Avenue, and the West 10th Street area. We're having our first pre-construction meeting about that project tomorrow.
And Indiana's north of 30th Street.
Yeah, just that one block or whatever.
Okay, so you're needing permission for,
Permission for you to sign the contracts.
you need permission to sign the contracts? Okay.
You'll work well with the business that just reopened up there so they can have their traffic.
My son works there and I've been watching, that's gonna be interesting.
Yeah, because they are on their own. Instead of driving out onto the 30th Street, they're going north on Indiana when there's like a dozen to 15 cars in line. And I appreciate them doing that.
Okay, so a motion to get the contract signed for the water main project on Evie,
Is that
Indiana, and
giving
10th Street.
permission to do that?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Yep.
You have a motion to approve?
Second.
Need a second, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Thank you very much.
I asked you a couple of weeks ago, I asked you a couple of months ago if we could hire a trash truck driver. A couple of weeks ago, I hired one, he didn't make it. So I need to hire another one. I have talked to 2 people already. I want to try to get somebody hired as quick as I can. Would like for you to give me permission to hire another trash truck driver.
Has he got his CDL license and all?
Whoever we might hire.
Yep.
I haven't decided on the exact person yet, but yes, they will. I'm only interviewing people that have the CDLs.
So is permission to hire or permission to advertise?
Permission to hire a trash truck driver. I have lots of good applications from the last time
Oh,
we
okay.
advertised still.
So the guy that you did work out, he's not with utilities or street department anymore, right?
No, he did it a couple weeks and he was a little overwhelmed by it and just didn't think it was for him, so we weren't mad at him. We were happy that he
Admitted
recognized
it.
that right away
Yeah.
before we spent a year training him and stuff.
Because they do work fast. They really work fast.
John.
It's a lot to handle. You got traffic, you got to control an arm. I mean, it can be overwhelming.
Motion to approve Brad's request.
Second.
You have a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Thank you very much.
I think the last thing I have, did you get a copy of a new trash approval? Did anybody see it? It came, I think I got it on my desk like just in the last few days, so I wasn't sure if it made this meeting or not.
No.
Do you wanna wait until next meeting to approve this one, or do you want me to go ahead and tell you about it?
Go ahead and tell us about it.
It's at 418 West 22nd Street, and the company is called Reliant Biomedical Services.
Biomedical, is that going to be something that should be disposed of like medical equipment should be?
Yeah, I don't have any more details. You wanna wait until the next time?
Yeah,
Look
yes.
into
Yeah,
it
we
a little
better
bit.
check
Yes.
them out a little bit,
There's
right?
418, is that across the street from the pizza king and the laundromat?
418 West
That's
22nd.
22nd
Where's-
Street.
Where's that at?
Would that be the block where the dental lab place is?
Yep.
Wouldn't it?
Yep.
So,
We'll have to look at that one more.
that's all I got. As if that wasn't enough.
You're fine.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks, Brad.
Okay,
Brad.
move on down to old business. Anyone have any old business? Miscellaneous business? Claims, Rosemary.
City claims for April 5th, $162,607.07. Payroll, $1,045,386.56. Utilities is $1,013,441.79.
Okay, I'm writing fast. Questions? Not, we're entertaining a motion to approve claims.
I move to approve the claims.
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Thank you very much. Move on down to the public forum. Anyone from the public out there have anything to say? Anybody out there? Okay, if not, we'll take a motion for adjournment. Have several motions in 1 second. All in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed, same sign. Thank you.
Hey, it's sunny out there, man.